What's good, my people? What's good? All right. So, as y'all might know, I just got back from my Iceland trip. That was dope, dope, dope. I just got back like 2 weeks ago, so I'm pretty fresh back. Having withdrawals left and right. Like, goodness gracious. I can't sleep, man. I be having nightmares of Iceland, man. Like, Jesus. I'm just kidding, but no, yeah. So I've been having a lot of people ask me about my experience, my itinerary, like do's and don't do's, how much it cost me. So I'm just gonna share it. I didn't want to, but I'm gonna share it to you guys. It's just so y'all will have a better time planning it and going to Iceland. Because I had a great time there. So I'll save y'all some time by helping y'all out. So here we go. We're gonna do the cost breakdown first. So it'll be a little bit easier to go through the itinerary. So here we go. My flight, I paid $825. I flew from Raleigh with Icelandic Air. I didn't fly from Charlotte because I think Charlotte didn't offer any straight shot flights. I didn't really check that well, but Raleigh was a lot cheaper, so I went with Raleigh. Um, Camper van, well, rental and hotels wise, I chose a camper van route just because it gave me more of a camping feeling in nature. So I didn't want to do like renting a car and then having to check into a hotel, check in now, bringing my luggage in, back and forth, and just staying one night. Like that's just too much of a hassle, honestly. So I opted for a camper van where everything is just in one spot and I could just go back to the back seat, sleep, wake up, drive to the next spot. That's a lot easier, in my opinion. I paid 16.50 for it. Um, it did feel a little pricey, but it's not that bad. If you kind of do the math between getting a regular rental car and a hotel, that's like maybe $100 for your rental, maybe $100 for your hotel. That's $200. I went for 9 days. 2 times 9, that's like what? Almost 2 grand. So kind of do the math for yourself. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with, go for it. Your style, your trip, go for it. I did this for my trip. Gas. Gasoline in Iceland is not cheap. That shit was expensive. Jeez. I spent about $300. Average. I think it was a little bit more, but I just wrote down $300. Gas over there is they measure in liters, not gallons, liters. Um, it's like $8 a gallon in US terms in Iceland. That's how much gas is. So do the math. It's expensive. Um, so there's two types of gas. There's regular gasoline and there's diesel. Diesel is a little bit cheaper at some gas stations. Depending on your company that you rent from for your rental, they'll give you like a discount chip for gas. It kind of helps. It's like 3 to 5%. It'll save you a big chunk throughout your whole trip. So it just depends on your company if they provide it. Food, I spent about $300 average. I ate out a little bit. I didn't eat out too much. I went to the grocery store and bought my own foods because I was camping, so I cooked my own food while I was there. So that's definitely a lot cheaper when you buy your own food. So keep that in mind. Um, Campsite fees, this does not apply to you if you don't have a camper van. So if you do, you have to pay for campsites. There's fees. It's like $10 a night, pretty much. $10 to like $15. It kind of varies on the campsite because some are a little bit more bougie than some. Um, so yeah. Paid parking. There's like places throughout Iceland you had to pay for parking. Like when you get to like a destination, like your scenic spot that you want to stop by, you'll have to pay for parking to park, then travel and then walk to your spot. So it's like $5 to $10 per parking lot. It just varies. Some places you don't have to pay for parking, but some you do. And it's kind of dumb, but I mean I understand. That's how they make money from off tourists. And I just hope they put that money to good use and fix up some things or, you know, in Iceland, you know what I mean? Yeah. So in total, I spent about 3,500. And it could be cheaper if you go with two people. You could split that cost in half. But I went by myself, so that's how much I spent, roughly 3,500. It wasn't too bad, honestly, but that's how much I spent. And going to my itinerary, I went from the 15th and I came back on the 25th. I flew Saturday night, the 15th, around 7. I got to Iceland around 6:30, 7 a.m. the 16th on Sunday. Picked up my camper van. My camper van was away from the airport, but they had people there that picked me up and took me to the my campsite, or I mean my camper van, which is the company people. They come and pick you up and they take you there, which is good. I That was convenient. Um, yeah, so I'm not gonna go through my itinerary. You could just email me or message me, and I'll send you the itinerary. And you can kind of just reference it while you plan your trip. Um, I pretty much did everything on this list of my itinerary except for like a few things. Like I can name it. I didn't go to the geyser circle or the golden circle to the geysers. I didn't do that. What else did I not do? Um, I didn't do hanging falls. That's like a little hike I didn't do because it was raining that day. Um, I didn't do the geothermal. I wish I did, but I didn't do it. What else? I think that's pretty much it. And everything else I did. So I explored it in 9 days. I did the whole ring road route, which is the whole Iceland country. I went counterclockwise. I started from the west side because that's where the airport is. And then I went south, and then I went east side, then I went north, then I came back to the west side. My advice and experience, I did it in 9 days. I finished it in 7 days, and I had 2 free days because I got back to the northwestern side um, on my seventh day. I was like, "Holy shoot, that was fast!" Um, it was kind of it didn't feel fast, but I was like, "Holy shoot, I'm already here," and I still have 2 free days. And I was like, "Oh dang!" So I think you could really explore the whole Iceland in 7 to 8 days. Nine to anything more than 8 days is kind of pushing it. I mean, because the weather over there is pretty unpredictable, so you can really use a free day just to save, just in case like one day is raining, and then you can kind of use that extra day to go back to that or something. But you know, whatever you want to do. But 8 days is perfect. Anything more than that is a little bit too much. Unless you're gonna do like extra things, like maybe go like on ice, like glacier hike, or ride like the helicopters to go to the volcanoes and everything, like a tour. But it it's just whatever you want to do. Uh, with this itinerary, you could do it within 7 days, 8 days. You don't need 9 days, honestly. But whatever you want to do, whatever. But yeah. So okay, now moving on to some do's and don't do's. So I kind of just briefly go over it. Um, we'll start with speeding. Speeding in Iceland is not it. Don't even speed. So the max speed you can go, or the speed limit, is 90 kilometers per hour, which is 55 miles an hour. That is super slow if you're from America. Like, people be going 80 miles an hour on like 55s, but definitely don't do that in Iceland because they got speed cameras and they'll get you. But if you can, you just have to be careful because when you get there, they'll have like signs posted on the side of the road where you're about to enter speed zones. So there's places where um, there's no cameras, and there's places where there is cameras, and they'll have signs posted up when there is cameras. So just definitely be careful. Don't go over 10 miles an hour, or 10 over the speed limit if you're in those speed zones, because they'll get you. They're strict. I've heard from locals that they're strict. So just be careful. Um, and um, Also be careful of wild animals. Not really wild animals, but they have a lot of sheeps on the side of the road and that will cross the road. Like there's a lot of sheeps. I can't stress that enough. There's a lot. So just be careful. There, like whenever you get to some locations or just on the main road, there's like sheeps just on the side of the road, crossing the road. So just slow down. Don't run them over. If you do, you have to report it. If you don't report it, then if they catch you, then you're gonna get fined. So yeah, just be careful. Um, and some like if your vehicle like two by like 4x4, 2x4 in the summertime, I think 2x4 is all you need. That's what I got. A 2x4. I got to all my locations, no problem. It's just if you get a 4x4, you can enter like F roads, you can go off-roading. So you can go off the main road into like more secluded areas and like rural areas, you know what I mean? But that's up to you if you want to go do that kind of things. But I didn't do it because I was by myself and I didn't want to get lost in or kidnapped, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of stuck to the main road. Um, so yeah. And also, weather-wise, the weather is pretty unpredictable. There'll be some days where it's raining and windy, and then there's some days where it's just straight cloudy, and then there's some days where it's sunshine, you know? But it all just varies, you know. The weather will change drastically, you know, like within the next hour or so. But definitely you have to layer up because it can get cold in the summertime. It can get cold. That wind is brutal. It's like 15 miles an hour wind nonstop sometimes. And with that rain hitting you too sometimes, that shit cold, bro. It'd be cold. But some days it's hot. Like some days you'd be like layered up and you're like, damn, I need to take all this shit off. But just depends. Just depends. So definitely plan accordingly. Um, what else? What else? Oh yeah, another thing. My experience, I think you'll have the most fun on the south of Iceland and the eastern side. The southern and eastern side is pretty much Iceland's best things to do. Anything on the northern side and the western side, there's not too much to see. Like I literally drove from the northern side all the way to the western side. There was literally nothing but mountains only. Like yeah, like you're just like driving in the middle of nowhere, kind of pretty much. I mean, there is things you could do. Like you have to go really up north towards the ocean side a little bit, and you can go like whale watching and stuff like that. But I mean, I didn't have that much time to do all that stuff, so I just skipped over a lot of some things. But the northern side, there's not too much to see, honestly. But unless I just don't know, you know. But like I did plan some things on the northern side, like Goa Falls and the cave, like the Game of Thrones caves and everything. Like that's all on the northern side as well. But that's pretty much about it. There's not much else to see. There's hot springs as well, geothermals as well, if you want to go do those things. But I didn't do it. But yeah, it's up to you. The western side, there's um the national park over there. You just need like one full day there, and then you have the city, Reykjavik. You need maybe a half day there, maybe a full day, depending on what you're doing. But I spent like 5 hours there only. Um, what else? What else? Um, oh yeah, money. Iceland, you don't need to bring cash. I brought like I converted 500 US dollars into their currency, and I got like what 65,000 Icelandic money. I struggled. I struggled using cash over there was it was kind of funny. Like, how do you struggle using cash? You know, like so my 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 advice, don't really bring cash. If you're gonna bring cash, just bring like $200 worth. Like just in case if like let's say your credit card, your debit card is not working that day or something, then you know you'll have cash as backup. But other than that, you don't really need cash because everything's digital, tap to pay, credit card, you know, yeah, you get it. You don't really need cash. You don't. Um, and another thing, let's see. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I can't remember if I did, but you don't need 9 days. You don't need to do this in 9 days. You can finish this in 7 or 8 days, literally, with this itinerary. I'm not sure if I already said that, but I'll say it again. You only need 7 to 8 days to explore the whole Iceland. But if you're going to do the southern and the eastern side, I think you could do that in 5 days, maybe 6 days max, if you want to have a better time, like to like actually soak in everything. Yeah. I mean, I had a great time. I spent about an hour or hour and a half at each location, just depending on what it is. But dude, I had a great time. Like I didn't feel rushed at all. Um, I felt like I soaked in everything a lot. So it just depends on how fast you travel. So yeah. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Another thing. They have a Costco in Iceland as well. It's by the airport, or it's in the city Reykjavik. It's by IKEA. Their gas is super cheap. So my advice, if you have a Costco card, bring it because gas over there is like 20 to 30 cents cheaper than all the other gas stations around Iceland. So bring it. You can definitely fill up there before you return your rental car. Um, I should have brought my sister's Costco card. I was like, dang, that gas is cheap, bro. Because like most gas stations, it's like 3.22 in Iceland, and then Costco is like 2.89, 2.77. I'm like, good Lord. But yeah, whatever. But I didn't care. I was out of the country. I was just like swipe, 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 swipe. But oh well, you'll make your money back. But yeah, I had a lot of fun during that trip. It was a blast. I had such an experience. You know, People say it's kind of lonely if you go by yourself. Man, I had a blast, bro. Like there's no one nagging at you, no one you had to cater to, and all that stuff. Like you just at your own pace, you do what you want to do. And dude, I had a blast. Don't let no one stop you from doing what you want to do, man. Like if you feel like you're waiting on someone to go with you, dude, just go on your own. Like you learn so much about yourself and you put yourself in a position where you have to do it, you have to learn, you have to like get out of your bubble to actually do. Like for example, when I was in Switzerland last year, um, I ran into like a complication where I was supposed to rent a car, but my car got declined for some reason. Um, so I had to go ride the train instead. But I was going to ride the train after I returned in my rental, but so I was like, shoot, I wasn't expecting this like little bump in the road, and then I didn't know how to read the train slips because it's in Icelandic, or it's not Icelandic. It's in their Switzerland's language. So I was like, shoot. So I had to ask questions to the person that was at the like kiosk machine. And I was like, hey, how do you read this? Blah 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 blah. So you definitely come out of your bubble and ask for help, and you learn as you go and things. And it's just so good. Like it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes you grow as a person. You know what I mean. Um, so don't let people like make you feel bad about yourself for going by yourself because I support you. You know what I'm saying? I support you. If you get lonely, you can meet people there. I met a lot of people during my Switzerland trip, during my Iceland trip. And then some of those people I still keep in contact with. Like you meet some cool people when you get out there. And I just don't think that the United States is all there is to see, bro. Like there's so much things you can see outside of the US, and you're just like, damn, that shit's pretty cool. Like how people live and like how people go about their days every day. Like it's so much different than the US. Like it's similar, but it's different. Like when you come back to the US, you're just like, dang, US is kind of trashy. Like not trying to hate on the US, but US is low key kind of trashy some areas. Like Charlotte, for example. Some parts of Charlotte is trashy. Not saying that other countries like there's some areas are not trashy, but for the most part, some areas are dude just clean, clean. Like they keep up with their stuff. Like in Switzerland, it was so clean, bro. Like you see no trash outside. I mean, yeah, you see some trash, but you don't really see it like how you see in the US, like just litter everywhere. And like the people there in Iceland and Switzerland, it was like they're so cool. Like they, I mean, I'm sure you just haven't really met those bad people yet, but like I felt so safe. Like I feel like nobody was gonna bother me. Nobody was gonna try something. First, like if you walk in the street in the U.S. by yourself, somebody gonna try you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to look over your shoulder or something. But yeah, enough rambling. That's my itinerary. That's my cost breakdown. I hope y'all have the best time if y'all do go. Ask me some questions. Send me some messages. I'll definitely help you out on how to plan a trip to Iceland or Switzerland because I have both the itineraries and both cost breakdown. But I'm just doing Iceland. So yeah. Enjoy. Hope you have a blast. Goodbye. Peace.